How's it going, everybody? It's the Shirtless Chef coming at you with another episode of How to Cook. Welcome to another fridge raid. So, with that, let's roll the title. So, like I said, we're doing another fridge raid on this episode of How to Cook. So, our fridge raid right now is, we've got some chicken broth. This is a pantry staple. Apple cider vinegar. We've got linguine, a general pantry staple. Half of a squash that I've peeled. It's been in the freezer for Lord knows how long. But we're going to make this work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pasta on. I've got some chicken broth and coconut milk from last week that I found in the last fridge raid. But I'm going to start off with our bacon, because that's where we're really going to get started. I'm going to cook probably 2 or 3 pieces of bacon. Not much, but just enough to actually give us something to cut up. So, here's our 3 slices of bacon. And we're not going to crumble that up this time. We are going to just kind of gingerly shred it apart. But that's going to be our basis for getting this put back together. So, I'm going to try and take our bacon apart. Our pan's really not hot enough, but all we're trying to do is render our bacon. Nothing more. So, like I said, I'm just tearing this up. Cooking like this can be rather rustic. I mean, I'm doing this in my own home. I don't have a fancy kitchen or anything. This is just my own home. My bacon is not wanting to tear. Okay. So what all have you been up? What have you all been up to? I've been trying to work on this video, and I still have my game streams 4 days a week right now. I've gone to half-hour episodes instead of an hour. Probably don't come off as the most talkative person doing these cooking shows, but by the time I've gotten to this, now the thing is, I have not added any fat to this. We've got a good bit of fat rendered out of our bacon, and that is what we're going to use to cook the rest of our food. I'm trying to cook more Japanese Greek style. Not a lot of high fats, not a lot of extra. But this bacon grease will end up being the base to our sauce. Now, just kind of rustically tear this piece up and if that is our bacon kind of crumbled up, kind of render that off, and while I do that, and for me, there's a lot of debate about bacon. Do you like your bacon cooked stiff or still a little bit flimsy? Or to me, it all depends on what my application of it is. It depends on how it's going to cook. And there's actually a good bit of bacon grease in this, so I'm going to let that finish rendering out. Hello, cat. I'm just going to kind of trim this off. I feel like this knife is completely dull. I'm going to grab our sharpener. Our sharpener. That looks good. Sharpener back in the drawer. There we go. Looks like my bacon is pretty much done. So that is not the end of our bacon, but that's all it's going to do for now. It's pretty much cooked and browned and done its job right now. Now, we're going to take and throw our squash in. And we've ended up frying our squash instead of kind of lightly sauteing it. But fried squash can't be too bad with this. Not with what we're about to do. So this is going to kind of become a one pot or one pan meal. Remember, we've got our pasta. Well, that's going to go in next. All I kind of wanted was some color on this. I've never tried to fry squash, and it's kind of worked out well. Now, the one thing I am going to do is, now that we've got this, see what I can do with this part. And then all I really want is some color on our squash. Just to kind of get it completely brown. I am going to get some flour though. I'm going to attempt to see. Now that'll probably do poorly. Got some rice flour. Trying to discern if that'll work to make our roux. I'm also trying to see oat flour. Well, I've got some rice flour, so let's see if this will work. So normally rice flour, when used in frying, doesn't do well, or does really well, but I've never tried to make a gravy with it. And that's essentially what we're doing here. We're making a light gravy as opposed to a dark gravy. But So at this point, this may work. We'll see. Even if it doesn't work, hey, you've watched somebody mess up cooking on YouTube. But this should be good. As I said, normally rice flour is used more for frying applications and less for like a application in this case. But the only reason why I'm even using rice flour in this is because I don't know where to find we kept our regular flour. But this should still work out pretty good. Well, that messed up. I don't see any just regular flour. So at this point, we're going to make this work. But all we're really doing is we're going to make a cream sauce. How are we going to make a cream sauce if I'm lactose intolerant? Let me show you. So I'm going to pour this. That's just some chicken stock at this point. I've kind of turned it into almost a brown gravy, unfortunately, which was not the goal. But it's actually pretty good. But I don't think I want more chicken broth in this. I'm going to put this back away. I didn't figure I was going to use it up, but I'm going to flip to in place of dairy, or in place of our, I basically made a brown gravy, which was not my goal. I'm going to see if I can salvage this. Well, I'm going to do something really weird. 1 second. We're going to pour this into a bowl. It looks very unappetizing, although this was more my own fault thinking chicken broth would work. I ended up with a brown gravy. When I really wanted a white sauce. But, live and learn. If I have to, I'll salvage it with taking things a different direction. You know what, this is bad, but it's not going to work for our sauce. So I'm going to be back in a second. I'm going to pause the video and rinse my pan. And we'll start this again. Not from scratch, just from the gravy part. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that mishap. But we're going to try this again. However, in this case, I'm going to get some this quick. Probably not the best idea. Nope. Give me a second to find some actual flour. I'll be back. So we're back, and I found some actual flour that will work. So we're going to try this again. Grab a paper towel and dry out our pan. And we're going to try this again in a different way. So I've got just some regular cooking oil. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons of this. We're going to do about the same with our flour. So I've gotten 2 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of just self-rising flour, hilariously enough. But we're going to try this again. We're going to basically turn this off. Add a little more oil. I'm normally one that doesn't use a whole lot of fats. Ironic, but kind of get this cut down to a paste. And now we'll turn our heat back on our pan. It's not bad, but all we want to do is cook the raw flour taste out of it. I just realized I put my hand over the camera. All we're wanting to do is cook the raw flour flavor out of it. I am going to take and go from this, move over a little bit. That's as much as I want it to darken. Remember, I don't want a dark gravy, I want a cream sauce. But I'm going to show you that you can make a cream sauce with coconut milk for those of you that are lactose intolerant and get away with it. Now, this is going to be our sauce. Yes, cat. What do you need? This is the thing that meows every so often in the video. No. But now all I've really got left, I may get a pan just to boil some of our pasta off, but after that, we're just waiting on this to thicken. Would help if I turn the heat back on. And the thing is, the difference between gravy and a cream sauce is all in how you cook it. That's it. There's no real difference between gravy and a cream sauce. Coconut milk actually works pretty well. Problem is, our roux is a little bit more dense than I planned. Meow. So you want to have your input too? So this is not going to be a one pan thing. I'm going to shuffle this over in a second. Once I get it kind of cooked. And let's turn back to our pasta. So my original goal ideally, I would have wanted this to be a one-pan meal, but I don't see that happening. And our sauce is almost done. So, plan was I would have this all done at once. Oh man, that tastes so good. I haven't added anything to it yet. But it's really good. So, like I said, we're going to turn our attention back to our pasta. However, I'm going to shuffle this off the heat. The pan holds enough heat right now that it'll just continue to cook that. Ideally, I would have wanted to get this all started once, but beggars can't be choosers when you've only got one large eye on a stove. But even at that, it's only 30 minutes, and this is going to take us 10. But while we've got our water, once we've got our water boiling, it's not going to be too hard. So I will see you back in a minute to show you the end, because I don't think you want to watch water boil. So, see you in a few minutes. So just to update, the one minor thing I've done since I paused the video was put water on, and I added a little bit of vinegar to our sauce. See you in a few more minutes when our pasta decides, our pot finishes boiling or decides to boil. So, see you then. So we are back. Our water is boiling, and we're going to go ahead and drop our pasta. Let's see how old. Okay, this is a more recent box. That's before October 2023, so this had to be one I picked up recently. Now, I tend to like a lot of pasta, but here's an interesting trick. So, if you ever have a spoon with a hole like this, your hole is one serving of pasta. So, that's one. believe I have 2 portions. Yes. Slightly more, but yeah. I have 2 portions of pasta. But we just kind of want to drop it in. And let it go. And we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. And we're going to return our attention to our pan over here. Because I'm going to show you how to finish the pan while we're dealing with these last 10 minutes. So first things first, I'm going to grab our spoon that I had, taste our sauce. It actually turned out really well. I may have to thin this out slightly, but otherwise, shouldn't be a problem. And the thing is, you could do the same thing and make Alfredo. Just outright the same method, and you've got Alfredo sauce. And it's not so much that it's dietary friendly, but it is dietary friendly. But for those with lactose intolerance, having Alfredo that we can eat is a big plus. This time I kind of went more Italian than Greek like I had planned, but I'm kind of reassembling my pasta. I'm going to pour our bacon back in there. Now we'll kind of add some saltiness to our cream sauce. And that's all we're really going to do to our cream sauce. So at that, I'll come back in a minute and show you how to plate. Approximately 7 minutes. I'll show you how to plate. Well, I thought I was going to wait the 7 minutes. We've got 6 minutes left, so it's not going to be that big of a deal or that long. So I'm going to kind of take some of the stuff I've got off to the side. Deal with it. But it's one, I'll talk about why I do these videos. So, I live with a rare birth defect called congenital diaphragmatic hernia. So, I was born with a hole in my diaphragm muscle, which may not sound that big of a, like it's that big of a deal to most people, but it is for me. And for pretty much all kids with this disorder. And I hesitate to call it a disorder because that makes it sound horrible, although it is more than a birth defect. my first repair didn't go right. So I ended up with a damaged intestine as well. So I'm missing basically a third of my small intestine. Well, I'm going to rinse that off. So I have to think about what I eat. I have lactose intolerance. There are certain things that you wouldn't think about that I can't eat. So I've struggled more recently. Now it's not that big of an issue, but when I first figured out that I was lactose intolerant, had a lactose allergy, it was hard to find things I could eat. And it was less of I was tested for an allergy and more of my family and I did trial and error and started figuring out that my issue was dairy. Of course, that led to a different problem. I am very low weight. Not quite there yet. So I have a hard time gaining weight as well. So all the things you would expect to push on someone that has a hard time gaining weight. Milk, cheese, things of that nature. Ice cream. Didn't work. Had the exact opposite effect. So that's where people don't see the internal struggles. And it's really hard to make friends when you have food allergies in a bizarre way. Because you end up asking questions of people that they probably didn't even think of. I still had a piece of bacon back behind me. But it's one I've had to switch up my diet a good bit over the last couple of weeks. Because right around the holidays, I lost about 10 pounds. Now, you may not think that was a big deal, but it's one for somebody that can't put weight back on easily. 10 pounds may seem like a drop in the bucket to you all, but for us, no. That's pretty much devastating for us to lose 10 pounds. And for those wondering, I hover right around 130 pounds. I may not look it, but I'm relatively well built. But it looks like our pasta's almost ready, so I'm going to see if we need to thin out our sauce a little bit. Kind of tastes like I put coconut yogurt in it, and that's not the case. That's a really good cream sauce. However, I am going to get a ladle. Let me get this one. I've got one that has like a side pour piece on it. Here it is. And that is the end of our pasta. I'm going to see if I can thin this out. Just a little bit of our pasta water. But it looks like we're pretty good. I didn't need to add much to thin it down. I'm going to just kind of move our pasta over, toss it in our pan. I'm going to move our pan from one eye to the other. Grab a pair of tongs. Kind of toss our pasta together. That's relatively good. Let's kind of fish the last of our pasta out of the pot. Drain our pasta water. Lay this over. Move our pan back over to this side. This is where our pan started. But now we're just going to serve it. All I'm trying to do is toss it together so everything looks good. Move our ladle back over. Move our Yeah, this is an hour, but remember, it kind of. If I had started my pasta when I started my sauce, it would not have taken this long. But we're going to last of our pasta and sauce, some of the bacon, probably doesn't look great, and grab some of our squash to go over top of it. Add a little bit more pasta to this. And let's taste. I really need a fork. 1 second. Mmm. Not absolute a perfect cream sauce, but you could have fooled me. All in all, this is a pretty good fettuccine alfredo. But with the bacon and the squash, it adds a little bit of a different texture to it. So I'll leave you all with this. For the Shirtless Chef, I'm Drew Monday with fettuccine alfredo with bacon and squash. Have a great day.